Speaking of losers, by the way, hit the like if you would. Share the show on Blue Sky if you would. I'm on Blue Sky at halsparks.com. I don't know what he's looking at either. It looks like he's like checking the rearview mirror for robots. I think probably everything that's in this video is in this image. Obviously, AI is coming for us, I suppose. Skynet, maybe that's just an allegory for the Democratic Party that, you know, it maintains Social Security. That's all it does, you know, on a pile of bones. I almost feel like I wish this image had just like a little thought bubble and it said, "What's for dessert?" You know, whatever. Anyways, we got to buy this. This is must watch. So obviously we have to. Alex Jones dropped some of the deepest knowledge. And does he call it a boom boom or big business? In his diaper. I think there should be like all Alex Jones like thumbnail descriptions should be read like a variance on fortune cookies that just say "in his diaper" at the end. Each one. All right. Here we go. This is and with a newly dyed beard. I mean, missed the edges, but that's okay. I mean, obviously, if maybe you do the whole thing and then you shave down past that, but then the beard keeps getting smaller. I guess that's the problem. Yeah. And it's always going to be the issue. So it's going to be the freshest growth, and you're not. It's harder to dye without dyeing your skin, you know. So shit happens. All right. So here we go.
So to all of you serving the system, you're not in the club.
Well, sure I am. I mean, I'm an employee of the club. I'm one of the servants of the club. So without me, there is no club. I mean, who's gonna? I mean, if I'm, let's say I'm working the Bohemian Grove this weekend, you know, and I'm in charge of, you know, water and fresh ice at all the tables. Obviously, I'm not a member of the club, but I am in the club. So if something happens outside the club, I should be protected from it because I'm inside the club, even if I'm not a member of the club. So, sorry, what the fuck are you talking about?
If you know all this information and then you get on board with them and you show you can understand it all and that you're in with it, yeah, they'll kind of buy you off by claiming you're in their club, that you know they're going to get rid of you next phase as well.
Sorry, which phase are we in? Because you seem to be in your like emo jock testosterone replacement phase.
I mean, just from a Machiavellian position, this is dumb to make a deal with a bunch of psychotic killers.
Well, again, yeah, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
That are so selfish they want to block off all this information from humanity and want to do this to their own species.
Yeah, well. Are they our species, though? I mean, aren't they lizard people wearing human skins?
I had a cat I'm looking for. A important cat. Love that animal, but it's one of my favorite pets that I ever had or whatever. I'd like some sugar in water.
So, to me, there's not even a debate. I've looked at every angle of this intellectually.
Yeah, I trust that's true. If there's anybody who's done the intellectual rigor around this, it's Alex.
Historically, politically,
psychosexually, stupidly.
Of course, my gut was right that I am abhorred by this, but I've analyzed it from their perspective, and it's a losing proposition for everybody.
Can you get to what it actually is? Or are you just being an asshole and you said it before the clip started and we're all supposed to just work this shit out for ourselves?
So our main job is exposing the breakaway civilization.
Okay, good. All right, I'm against you at infotainment junk info dot shit. That's your job, or you mean our job as humanity? I don't know. Am I in the? If we're not in the club, isn't that another club? I feel like we're in the not in the club.
What its aims are, what it's doing, how it's at war with the system that it's erasing, because it could be.
I thought it was its system, though.
A challenging system to it. That's another thing. They want only one global government with a small man.
Oh, shit. Oh, did you guys know what this is? Know what we're seeing here?
I'll be goddamn. Wow, my shoulders are hairy because I'm a meaty motherfucker. Goddamn, that's That is the mural at the Denver airport where the Illuminati and the Bohemian Grove and the CIA globalists, WEF, and the Boy Scouts all got together and made this big code. And if you can break it out and you know how to work the math of it, you can walk up and you push the right button. And I'm not telling you which one it is because I don't want you fuckers following me down there when shit hits the fan. And it literally hits the fan. There's actually a picture, if you're looking, of his little fan with shit on it. Come on. And that's the image you're seeing there. Alex, you're not supposed to let him in on this. Goddamn. So...
manageable population because they fear real renaissance and innovation.
Yeah, that's what they're worried about.
And so they want a total scientific dictatorship.
Yeah, a total scientific. I mean, it sounds like Elon Musk and the shit that Peter Thiel says.
So you can say, well, why they want to kill us all? Well, they're selfish.
Well, I mean, should I tell them? I don't know if I should tell them. Alex, they don't want to kill us all. They just want to kill you, man. I mean, I understand how you might take this personally, but they're not interested in wiping out everybody. Just the sort of the tiresome, crotchety bores like yourself. You're beyond expendable. You're an irritant. So, of course, if they let you see the manuscript, it's going to have your name listed there as somebody who's got to go, and you're going to have to feel, you're going to feel funky about it. I don't know what to tell you. The rest of us are going to be just fine. And I'm not for, massive eugenics by any means. I'm not a fan of depopulation in general. I'd like to say that from a moral standpoint, if I may. Okay. But you, on the other hand, I think if they took a vote, it doesn't look good.
They don't want competition.
Yeah, because that's what they view you as, Alex. That's why they've let you live after you've told all their secrets all these years. You do realize that if anything this asshole said was ever true, the very people he's talking about would have wiped him out years ago. It's not like he's never been on a private plane or on a boat or in, overseas or traveling in Mexico.
I would decentralize all this and be completely honest about it and let people decide what they want to do. You want to be cyborgs? You want to do this? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it is fine. I agree.
But the Earth-based alliance or whatever you want to call it.
I like that, the Earth-based alliance. EBA? We need something better than that. It's got to be something like chaos or whatever, with an acronym that evil. The Enterprise Villains International League. Something like that. He's still trying to go that sounds stupid.
And the people voting. And folks the majority are going to want stuff away from us. This is, you want to play around with the antimatter? You want to all merge the machines? Fine. Go sign up. Go do it over there.
There is no other. Okay. There is no other, over there with antimatter, dum-dum. That's fabric of the universe kind of shit. That's like, you want to have a black hole? Fine. Put it in Ohio where nobody will care. You want your stupid Hadron Collider, then fine, have it in Switzerland, but don't put one in Indiana because there's a Stuckey's there I like.
But you're going to be honest about, and then the automator, they'll get more advanced than us and invade and take over. I understand all that. I've already looked at every angle.
Yeah, I'm ready for them. If the half Terminator cyborg people with tread and nuclear diamond batteries running them, and their souls have been downloaded into a hard drive that you can't destroy because it's wrapped in titanium and adamantium and diphtherium and several other iriums, then I get it. We'll just punch them right in the dick. Great. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, we all feel much safer with you at the helm. If anybody's going to fight off the super intelligent lizard people who have reflexes fast as lightning and can pilot aircraft in the air that can totally change direction on a dime in a way that would destroy a biological entity within it or whatever. If those people come for us, don't worry, Alex will fight them off. Apparently, he's got biological weapons that he'll use on them. Jesus.
But that's why the decision's been made to wipe out most of civilization, have a highly controlled technology.
And that's why Donald Trump won the election and Elon Musk is siding with him, with Peter Thiel pulling his strings, because that's actually what they fucking believe. You do realize that, right? You do realize that, like, fucking Peter Thiel couldn't do one regular interview without bringing up eugenics. Like, we're going to just have to, like, you know, craft human beings out of the highest genetic material we can amongst us and then let everybody else die off as quickly as possible. Otherwise, there's really no hope for us. Like, he's fucking straight out saying it. And again, if a Democrat brought in Besant, a married gay man to be the Treasury Secretary who has kids that he's had biologically, insofar as I know, and used to work for Soros, if a Democrat did that, you guys' fucking head would explode. I feel like we're back in, Death Becomes Her. Now a warning?
Because you can't have these breakaway civilizations.
Oh, Elysium? The fuck out of here. Oh, no, this is Elysium, right?
When there's more than one.
I recognize Jody's haircut anywhere.
Right. And a lot of people are going, well, that makes sense then.
By the way, her character is who Alex Jones wishes he was. I don't know if you know that, but when all that stuff came out that he had trans porn on his phone and all that kind of stuff, it really just points to the fact that he wishes he was Jodie Foster. Look, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. That's his that's his burden, not ours.
Kill everybody. Well, there's the argument right there, and it just doesn't feel right at a cellular level. And I am in connection, and all of you are. You need to face that with the advanced intelligence, electromagnetically. We all are. And
yeah, we all are. Electromagnetically advanced intelligence. We're facing it. What?
And God tells me, don't do this.
Oh, so you're not then, I guess. So you're not going to... God told you not to become a cyborg? Cool story, bro.
So I'm going to go with God's plan.
Are you? Hold on. Is that just the graphic? Does he say anything else?
There's a whole bunch of different projects and groups and governments and corporations.
Yeah, this is a bunch of shit. That stuff I've been talking about for the last 5 decades or whatever the fuck, yammering to anybody who would listen. But... And just like with the UAV issue, you've got Dubai and a bunch of other Middle Eastern countries and China admitting they're using antennas on the ground to ionize nuclei in the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. They are. They're admitting that they're using antennae to ionize the atmosphere. Why? Viagra stop working, or
to form water droplets around the charged particles.
I see. So rain machines. Gotcha.
That then form clouds, that then form larger droplets, that forms rain.
Which, of course, is evil.
And they have weather control bureaus in a bunch of countries. But here they just treat us like we're ignorant savages. And
well, in their defense, Alex, you're a dipshit. And also, I'm starting to think that snow on the screens to your left and right isn't real.
You say, that doesn't exist. Well, what's this treaty? Well, what's this group? Well, what's this government funding? And they go, well, chemtrails don't exist. Well, that's not a technical term. So, yeah, that doesn't exist. But your high-altitude aerosol weather control geoengineering project does. And here's Bill Gates spending billions a year with the Department of Energy to do it. And a test to block out the sun. And they've done satellite tests with arrays to test it. I mean, it goes on and on.
Yeah, but I mean, why? Just follow God's plan and shut the fuck up. What do you care? We're all going to be cyborgs anyways. And those who aren't cyborgs will just live in the techno universe of Earth that I and my fellow, futurist, post-humanists, or whatever the fuck you call it, transhumanists, you call us, we'll run things, and don't worry, Alex, we'll let you run around like a pet or something like that. You're hilarious. We'll keep you on a short leash. We'll put you in a sim where you actually think Austin, Texas still exists. And then we'll make a Truman Show kind of thing out of you. How about that? Wouldn't that be adorable? We'll just let that happen. I mean, it's God's plan. I mean, look, if it happens and God's real, then it has to be God's plan, no matter what happens, even the bad shit. Right? Who are you to question God's plan? If God's plan is for a few of us to become, cyborgs with super intelligence that can fly and make rain. And by the way, don't look up because I'm making rain on you right now. If that's what happens, that's because God wanted it. If it doesn't happen, that's because God didn't want it to happen. That's how God's plan works. There's nothing outside of God's plan, stupid. Otherwise, it wouldn't be God's plan, would it? Because you can't fuck up God's plan, or they wouldn't be God. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Maybe you're following the Dark Lord, because his plan can get fucked up. Oh, now we get to you're a devil worshiper. I don't know why it took me this long to figure it out.
It's like when I would talk about, they're having a global government summit 15 years ago. People go, there's no such thing.
Yeah, there isn't.
They have New York Times articles. Jones is crazy, claims there's a thing called globalists, there's a thing called Bilderberg, and then meanwhile, they were having...
No, nobody said you were crazy for claiming there's a thing called Bilderberg. That thing actually happened. The idea that globalists as an ideology, meaning that there would be countries, the New World Order would be people, democracies or countries of the world working together and that kind of stuff. That's what a globalist initially was somebody who looked past national borders and all that kind of shit. You turned it into Jews. That's the problem everybody has.
Conferences at the WEF decades ago, the Global Governance Policy Forum. And, they had another one last year that Elon Musk was at.
Weird, he was? Huh. It's funny. Really, he was bringing it up. What was the topic? Depopulation through social media? Is it possible, and how quickly?
And, told them that their tyranny was coming down.
Yeah, that's what he told you. He told them. He just showed up to say that their tyranny is coming down, and then he left there with $30 billion.
So it's on the internet. Millions are watching. The world leaders are there talking about their global government and cashless society and how they're going to cut the carbon and make you live in your house most of the time, and your cell phone will tell you when you can leave, and
yeah, remember all that?
Robots will take over everything, and the future's not human. And I'm like, wow, they're planning this horrible anti-human future. And
yeah, this all sounds like shit. What are you talking about? This is Elon Musk. Dumb fuck. This is what Elon Musk talks about. Jesus Christ. He's going to replace all physical labor with robots. Stupid.
It's on television.
It's on X.
But separately, it doesn't exist. It's like human-animal cloning and human-animal splicing chimerics. And
No. You don't get to walk that shit back. Where they test they're trying to see if you can grow a human kidney in a pig so you could use pigs as a way of farming organs. This is before we realized we could 3D print them and stuff. That was initially like, oh God, we don't have enough kidneys and we're not going to steal them from people. So how can we make them? And some scientists going, well, technically speaking, we share a lot of tissue with pigs. And if you grew it in there, this might be a possible way to do it. So they tested it. You can't just turn that into chimeras or human animal hybrids. And walk it back to, we've tested almost everything.
Decades ago, they had salmon that grow twice as fast and are twice as large that are part insect.
But I thought you were going to say they were part gay frog.
They put insect genes in them, and there's another salmon that has celery genes in it, and they just randomly gene edit.
Yeah, it makes this salmon salad sandwich. They put bread genes in it as well, and the salmon salad sandwich just swims right up in your mouth. It's delicious. And there's this restaurant called Bears, and you just sit in a river, and the sandwich just leaps up into your mouth. I love that place. It's the atmosphere I enjoy the most.
Splice stuff and see what happens with the eggs that produce the fish. And
add a little pickle. I don't know. Some people like it. I'm not a big fan. But, it beats capers as far as I'm concerned.
The embryos, and then they go, well, this one really works. But they're really mean and kill all the other salmon. But don't worry, they won't get in the ocean. And then 10 years ago, oh, they've escaped.
And the next thing you know, you're eating the meanest piece of salmon you've ever had at the Olive Garden.
Because they put fences up in the ocean and say, well, they're in here. They won't get out. Yeah, right. Then they
Yes, ocean fencing. Build that wall. That's what I say.
get out and start replacing the normal salmon. I mean,
Yes. Uh-huh. Well, they fuck them out of existence because, ladies really like a bad boy.
it's just one example of
Yeah, it is. Just one. I mean, that's all I need, though. I'm good. Thanks very much.
we're not in Kansas anymore. We're not in the year 2024.
Yeah, we are.
We're in the year 2080.
Sorry, is this shit not supposed to come true till then? I want to be a robot sooner.
Pick a number. Depending on
Yeah, okay, thanks.
the technology, it's way advanced in what you know. The future's here. It's just not evenly distributed.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can go back in time, 20, 30 years simply by getting on the wrong Greyhound bus.
So we have giant weather control, terraforming, geoengineering projects, corporate governmental going on.
Yeah, in China and Saudi Arabia, who used to be the bad guys, but somehow you need to suck their dick. I don't get it.
It's all hiding in plain view. This outgoing
Okay, then it's not hiding.
CIA director 9 years ago got up and did a whole 2-hour press conference on, we can control the weather, but we don't want the public to know because they'll get upset and they'll file lawsuits. Plus other governments will, get on our ass about it, but it's very promising.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. They'll get on our ass about it.
And you're like, but you're on C-SPAN at the CFR saying that.
Yeah, it's weird. You're at the Council of Foreign Relations giving a speech, and you're the outgoing CIA guy. So how do I know you're not just saying this to fuck with? Maybe you can't do it, and this is a double bluff. I don't know what to believe. Shit. I'm going to go with it's true and not true at the same time. And I'm not going to worry about it because God's plan.
Well, they know that a small enough number will watch that, and they'll say, oh, that doesn't exist, while they announce it exists.
Brilliant. It's so keenly smart. I don't know how any of us could ever escape it. And how could anyone think this guy is anything but a perfect source of truth?
So
How dare we doubt him? I'm almost ashamed to call this show infotainmentwars.com. Don't bother with the documents. We got everything memorized.
there's a psychological process to that.
Uh-huh. It's called lunacy.
And that would take hours to get into, but
Yeah. I don't need to. I've got other shit to do. It's a lot. I think really just any day now.
it's beyond gaslighting.
Is that your other show?
It's Crime Stop. It's Double Think. That's in 1984.
Crime Stop. It's Crime Stop? All right.
Where two men can't have a baby. There's X and Y chromosomes. I mean, these professors of biology know that. They just get promoted, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, if they just keep saying a woman is as strong as a man, pound for pound. That's an
I don't know that he said that. I think he can say some are, because it depends on the man. But in general, there are biological differences between people. That's not the concern here.
absolute lie on its face.
Right, absolutely. Most women are much stronger than Alex Jones in every sense of the word, morally, physically, intellectually, psychosexually.
Totally studied in real science, but
Yeah, totally. Guys, it's totally studied in real science. Okay?
they're in the science of mind control and have authority figures telling you there's no weather control. There's no X and Y chromosomes, as Christ, as
Yeah, it's in the Bible. X and Y chromosomes. It's in Matthew. I've read it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Bill Nye and them have been running around saying. You're like, that is really insulting, but
Wait a minute. Did you just call Bill Nye Christ?
it's training the public to accept nonsense and
And that's my job.
it's making everything a joke. It's
And again, I feel like you're going to sue them for intellectual property theft.
it's jamming real discussion. It's poisoning, pooping in the punch bowl.
It's poisoning pooping in the punch bowl? I don't know. I would think pooping in the punch bowl is poison to begin with. And Jeffrey's a bit spent. He's a bit bent. He's a bit spun, I think is the British phrase.
And then you reward the general public in the whole social credit score system that's already here.
Yeah, it's already here. I mean, you can't go outside without your phone telling you it's okay. I know. Yeah. I have that app. Don't you have that app? If you don't have that app, don't go outside. The Jewish space laser will blow you right out of your car seat.
With monetary success, if they go against their own interest and believe a lie. So Crime Stop or Doublethink is, for the last year and a half, Big Brother, the head of the Communist Party of the UK, in that fictional book before he died, he said was his projection of what England would be like by 1984 if it continued on the path it was on.
Which it wasn't.
And he would know.
And it didn't.
He was the number one propagandist for the British government in World War II at the BBC, creating the propaganda. And then he found out about their real plan to not beat Hitler, but just get him out of the way to make something even worse.
Yeah, that was the goal. Yeah, Churchill's whole thing was like, what could be worse than killing all the Jews, anybody who's physically challenged, mentally retarded, which was the term at the time, gay or whatever. Like, I say, oh boy, I like what Hitler's doing in that area. Yeah, yes, what? I like the idea. I like, swinging his step as well, But I believe we can go further. Yes. Well, I'd like to do, if I could, something worse. I mean, what he's doing is pretty bad, but it could be worse. And that's up to us, all right?
He wrote about this before he died, nonfiction. Look it up, his essays. Died real quick of that real fast overnight tuberculosis.
Yeah, which never happened in that time period.
When he kept shooting his mouth off and saying, no, this is real, and started giving interviews and saying, no, I was the, and it's on record he was. I mean, he was the boss of brainwashing for the British government.
Okay. Also, for the record, so he wrote 1984 and did a couple of essays, and the system was so worried that he would keep spouting his mouth off about how it worked that they gave him tuberculosis and killed him really quick with instatuberculosis. But they've let you yammer on for decades. There's only two possibilities here. Either you're totally wrong and it doesn't exist, or you work for them. And that everything you're saying is again flooding the zone with bullshit so that they can keep people distracted while they do other things. That's the only way this works out. Either you're totally full of shit and they haven't killed you because they don't exist and they can't and it's all made up in your dopey little fucking head, or you're an employee. There is no middle of the road in this situation. There's no zone where the fucking Illuminati exists and they kill people who dare speak out about it, and that you've been doing this for years and you get away with it. It doesn't. There is no situation where that's true. Like there are no untouchables in a world of the Illuminati if you believe that exists. It's so fucking lame.
I mean, he was in the top board meetings.
Mm-hmm. Yes, during World War II, when they were fighting back against the German propaganda and the Russian propaganda. Right.
When you'd have literally a few dozen top globalists around a big round table, and then they would go to him and as
He means Jews.
As the director of the Ministry of Truth. So Winston Smith is him. But Winston's just mid-level in the book. Winston Smith is Eric Blair, the real name of George Orwell. And he's there destroying the truth at the Ministry of Truth.
The irony.
And then he actually knows Big Brother's bad, but he didn't know Big Brother wants to hurt everybody and actually...
Yeah, he thought he was like your big brother. Like your big brother wants to like hold you in a headlock and give you a noogie, but, you know, or maybe an occasional purple nurple, but genocide? Sheesh.
Slowly destroy humanity because it's so
Slowly.
enjoyable for the upper party.
I see. You can't, don't kill them off right away, old boy. There's no fun in that. I like watching. That's what it is. Prince Andrew over here, he's a young'un at this point. He likes fapping while we murder the poor.
That he thought he was in the inner party, but there was another inner party.
Yeah, of course, there always is. That's the thing, right? He thought he was in the Diddy party, but that's not where the real Diddy party is.
And so Orwell said, no, this is basically...
God damn. People watch this shit? People watch a lot of this shit? People watch hours and hours of this shit. I mean, I don't know that they do. Let's see what the viewership on this one is. He's got 55,000 views. That doesn't tell you anything. But he's got 387 ups and 3 downs. Who are these people and how are they still alive? You know what? It's probably what? Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, and Colonel Sanders, who's probably still alive. That's what I think.
My composite allegory of what I've experienced and what they're going to do by 1984 if we don't stop them. Mm-hmm. It flipped
And they didn't stop them. Nothing stopped, and that didn't happen.
1948 when the book was published.
Right, we get that. Yeah. But it was... Yeah, it's fairly simple to work out, yeah.
That's from him. That's how I know that. You can actually go read his essays if you like. I've read 4 or 5 big, huge compendiums of his essays and articles.
Yeah. Are you holding one of them right now? Are the compendiums in the room with us right now, Alex? Also, did you insert them into your asshole or smoke them? I don't know what that hand gesture is.
That are more important than 1984. Got them on,
well, sure, of course.
on my bookshelf or in storage somewhere.
Somewhere. They're in storage somewhere. That's how important they are.
So...
Yeah, anyways, what were you saying? Where were we?
Down and out in Paris and London and just to kill an elephant. I mean, it goes on and on. It's his whole life.
It does. It's fascinating. It's great. Just awesome.
But very interesting guy. But what I'm getting at here is we're already in the breakaway civilization.
Ah, okay, good. I was wondering, are we is this like Snowpiercer? Are we all on the train headed for the edge of the ice wall? And
we are outside the real technology, the real government, the real system.
Okay, so Trump didn't win, and this is all a farce, and Elon Musk is full of shit, and he's just a caricature, and none of what they're doing is meaningful or matters at all. I mean, if that's the case, then again, if there's a giant system operating everything behind the scenes and you have no control over it, whoever gets into the presidency, it's because they gave him the okay. So you're saying this? All I'm getting is Trump is part of this plan by the Antichrist Incorporated.
And as it transfers our resources and technology that we develop to it,
is its pronouns it or?
What does it do then? It pulls the rug out of the energy and the technology and the fertilizer and the food from us.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah, it's pulling the fertilizer out of us. That sounds painful. Alex, have you ever had the fertilizer pulled out of you? Because I would recommend it. I think it's called a shitheadectomy. It's where you have your ass pulled out of your butthole. I mean, I don't think you even need a second opinion. I would just go straight to one of those, any like car dealership or repair shop that has a Jaws of Life should be able to do it.
claiming carbon's bad, which we are.
Yeah, it's not just carbon existing because like a lot of things made out of carbon. It's not it's carbon in the atmosphere is bad. Be the particulated carbon, not chunks of it walking around going to movies.
And it collapses the old system when it's done with it, which is now happening.
Mm-hmm. So Donald Trump is a sign of collapse. Okay, that tracks.
And absorbs it all into itself.
Speak slower.
In a new city-state global model where everyone else is poor that's allowed to even live and lives at a neo-feudal agrarian level.
Oh, so it's like the Unabomber's dream come true. Sure.
And you'll have in every little town a small technology office where
with a cage with 2 rats in it.
Behave properly and do what they say. You'll be able to have a little bit of access to it as the outer party members. Everybody else will have no access to it, be kept in total superstitious ignorance. And then you'll have the main city-state command bases. I mean, they wrote about this 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. Bertrand Russell, H.G. Wells, in their nonfiction political books.
Yeah, because democracy was even newer than it is now on the planet, and a bunch of like governments were trying to wipe it out. And these were cautionary tales because there were fellow travelers in their own societies were like, I don't know, maybe Hitler's not so bad. And so they were worried that those ideas would take flight, or I don't know, maybe Stalin's not so bad. And they would write books specifically going, well, if you think that, here's what'll happen if you allow that to take over. And then they would teach it in schools. That's why everybody knows it. And so that's why he can't draw from anything but fucking 3 goddamn books.
They were Fabian socialist, total elite controllers. They're other members of their party. You know, there's film footage of them in the 20s, 30s, and 40s when they first brought in audio saying, every year you'll be brought in and studied and tested by the party. And if you're not up to our standards, you will be executed.
Yeah, and that happened. Remember when that happened? I mean, I gotta say, if you're trying to warn us about something, maybe don't go back to people like that allegedly have been trying to do this forever to a time when they said it was going to be done the next year. It's starting to sound like Elon Musk's self-driving cars. Shit, my cars are going to be able to drive around by themselves by 2017, and you'll be able to rent your car out as a roving taxi and make money while you sleep. Uh-huh. Who washes the vomit out of the back seats when it picks up a bunch of drunks? Huh? Never mind.
And then this is Bertrand Russell and others. And these are the people the left praises as liberal and empowering people.
We do?
But see, to sabotage the real human organic civilization,
mm-hmm. You do realize your entire studio is basically automated. You don't even have cameramen anymore. I don't think you have had any since public access, when people like got paid by the state to be your camera person? We have somebody just sitting in the fucking director's booth, just running it on a cycle.
2 men can have a baby, poison the water, the food, culturally
gay frogs,
poison people,
poisoned gay frogs,
fracture everybody, divide and conquer everybody. To weaken us.
Okay, I'm getting so fucking bored. I don't know how people do it. How do people watch like hours of this shit? It boggles the mind. Like, I find myself getting irritated at Joe Rogan's show, but at least there are guests on there, and the back and forth on it, you could have the illusion of something interesting happening. This is just weird.
As you transfer power into the city-states that you read about in Brave New World, and Zardoz.
Seeing the Lego movie.
And all the movies where they tell you what they're doing.
Yes, all the movies where they tell you what they're doing. Tootsie, Young Frankenstein, Fletch, Blade Runner, obviously.
Elysium.
Elysium. Oh, fuck you. Do not bring up the dumbest sci-fi movies as indicative of the direction of humanity, you dum-dum. Real quick, if you can make robots that can police humans, that can talk, logically move stuff, can fire guns and push people around, you can make miners as well. Why don't you? Why would you bother making humans if you wouldn't even need them? You just let them die. You just make the robots to do the mining in the first place. You wouldn't force the humans to mine. Stupid. And if you had this system that could heal everybody and the ability to have this giant ship floating around the earth, then you can make deep space ships and send people all over the universe. So just keep making them, and the robots would make the ships, and the people would leave on the ships, and then you wouldn't have to kill anybody, and all the materials you needed at each place would be mined and created by robots and that kind of stuff, and all the thinking and moral choices would be made by organic humans in a direction, but all the robots would do the dangerous work, and the fun or interesting work or the hobbyish work, humans would do it one-to-one. Why would you fucking, why?
Hunger Games. And then they say in their main line, CFR, Trilateral Commission, WEF plans that they're going to get global control, collapse all the nation states, create neo-feudalism, and then...
And they need Donald Trump to do it.
Pick command bases, generally only 1 or 2 per region, that will be the high-tech centers. And those themselves will be their own prisons, but where the people they choose are allowed to come into it.
And those people who are smart enough to work in the regional command centers running everything will willingly go into these things because it beats the shit out of living a feudal agrarian life in an area where there's no fertilizer. Motherfucker.
Everybody else has to pay huge amounts of money to get into it.
Which they don't have, so shit.
So most people can't even get into it. That will
Sure, of course not, because there's no money anymore. We live a cashless society. Keep up.
Include you. And the places they're setting up are Kauai, Hawaii.
Sweet. Love that place.
Austin, Texas.
Oh, really? So you already lived there?
Obviously London.
Obviously.
Obviously Tel Aviv.
Also, why Austin? Austin, Texas? What the fuck? You think that's going to be an Illuminati point just because you live there, you egomaniacal prick?
Rome.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's got to be Rome. I mean, honestly. Keep thinking. Vancouver? No. Toledo? Probably not. Amsterdam? You betcha.
Berlin.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to try that again.
Brussels.
Just for the sprouts.
But then they have sub bases.
What's left of Portland? Hashtag rip Portland.
Also off the middle of nowhere.
Right. Sure. Arkansas, someplace in Wyoming. We're going to do everything, I'm going to do everything to make sure that they set something up in Wyoming. By the way, Alex, hi. I'm Harriet Hageman from the wonderful state of Wyoming. And you're a handsome man. Would you like to have organic God babies with me? God, just like God intended. I got an X and you got a Y. I'll meet you in the middle and I'll show you why. Baby, here we go and why? Yo, me. I love you, Alex. Alex is so handsome.
Burkina Faso.
You'll be locked down for your entire life to just a few hundred square miles if you're lucky.
That pretty much sums it up for me right now.
That's the 15-minute cities. This is all official.
Wait a minute. Hold on. In the future, you'll be able to get a few hundred miles in 15 minutes? Sign me up. Hang on. Wait a second. These 15-minute cities, what are they going to, I guess they're all going to have maglev trains, and that's amazing. Super.
And I've been reading about it for decades and decades.
And you're still alive, so it must be bullshit.
Imagine reading globalist books that are published and written by world leaders.
That you say if people found out about it, they'd get killed, and yet here you are.
But not for general consumption.
Sure.
And of course, I started reading this stuff when I was like 10. My parents had the same books, and I'm like, this is way better than the comic books I'm reading.
Wait, why do your parents? Oh, so your parents were part of the Illuminati. Okay, that makes sense. That's why you work for them. I get it. So you're their disinfo. You were raised in the Bohemian Grove Society to be a disinformation specialist and stuff, and they were like, he's stupid enough.
And then as I got older, I went to the library and got the more books and their statements, and I would see quotes in reports in books exposing him, and I would say, I want to see if David Rockefeller really said in 1976 in the New York Times, I want communism, Mao Zedong's the best, we need to take over America and collapse everything to rebuild the communist dream. So I went and read the article on the microfiche, the microfilm at the library.
Yeah, it was microfiche. Microfilm is the thing you have to smuggle in your butt to get, out of a foreign country if you're a spy.
And a bunch of other, I mean, go the whole list, and the librarians at UT, they had the best one.
Yeah, they have the best librarians.
When you go to UT, no, you're 16-year-old. Well, what do you want this stuff? Well, let us help you.
Yeah, 16-year-old come into this little back room, little boy.
We've got more stuff. Can you come back next week? It's called the stacks, and this is just a small part. We've got huge.
Yeah, that's what they did. That's exactly how it happened. Would they give you a robe too?
Huge warehouses. You want more? Yeah. Well, sure, we'll bring that to you. We don't really ever see anybody want anything here.
Well, it is a library in Texas, so I can see why that's probably true.
Everybody just goes against the cheat sheet books to act like that. I mean, literally. So.
Yeah, fucking Texas, right? Just a bunch of dumbasses. Everybody around you, where you grew up, everybody you went to school with, your parents, friends, all the adults, they're just dumbasses, aren't they, Alex?
Isn't it fascinating to learn about this whole breakaway civilization?
That you just made up in your fucking head?
That's now very mature.
Well.
And advanced, and is now collapsing everything else that you and I live in.
From a China Traveler by David Rockefeller, 1973.
Yeah, that's the article. So you're back.
All right. Well, now you've done it. God damn it. Now I gotta. Obviously, I'm going to be put on some sort of Illuminati globalist lizard people hit list after this. So I just want to say I love you to my family and to all you guys. And if I'm disappeared, obviously, this is a point of concern. Okay. From a China Traveler, Rockefeller. You would think they would expunge this stuff from the internet. But no. There's a thing, and then we go into here and do, hit it, baby. Come on now, do the thing. Come on, everybody, do the thing. Shit, why do I have to? I don't want to have to look up. I don't want to have to sign in on this, you fucking tit. Hold on, grab this copy link. I've got to put it on a whole new browser. Pitiful. Okay, here we go. One thing, put it in a new tab. Here we go. I got to find it now. Now we're stuck with it. Let's go. Here is the... From a China Traveler. See this review on Time Machine about this article. Occasionally given... 6 minutes of the Chase Group, we're able to see experience and pink and I have visited China, something equivalent. Try to see New York City in less than half, and one is impressed. This is the thing. One is impressed immediately by the sense of national harmony from the loud patriotic music at the border onward There's very real and pervasive dedication to Chairman Mao and Mao's principles. Whatever the price of the Chinese Revolution, has obviously succeeded not only in producing more efficient, dedicated administration, but also fostering a high morale and community of purpose. General economic social progress is no less impressive. Only 25 years ago, starvation and abject poverty are said to have been more the rule than the exception. In China today, almost everyone seems to enjoy adequate, if Spartan, food, clothing, housing. Streets and homes are spotlessly clean, and medical care greatly improved. Everywhere you went, crime, drug addiction, prostitution, and venereal disease have been virtually eliminated. And he knows because I guess the assumption is where goeth prostitution, there goeth venereal disease. I mean, is this what you asked about? Yikes. Doors are routinely left unlocked. It's because they don't have locks. Rapid strides are being made in agriculture, reforestation, industry, and education. 80% of school children now attend primary school, compared with 20% just 10 years ago. Again, these are just the Chinese Communist Party's numbers, and he's just barking them back. Each step of the trip was choreographed precisely by our hosts. Yeah, that would be the dead giveaway. Nothing has changed. And though virtually all our requests were granted, we clearly saw what they wanted us to. That would be the other dead giveaway. Still, there was little sense of constant security found in some of our Still, there was little sense of the constant security found in some other communist countries. Issues such as Taiwan and Cambodia evoke strong positions, but conversation does not founder on ideological shoals. The Chinese seem convinced of it. Despite the constant impression of progress, however, some gray areas and basic contradictions also emerge. Three major questions remain in my mind. First, can individuality and creativity continue to be contained to the degree they are now in a nation with such a rich cultural heritage? No. We now know the answer to that question. This doesn't sound like a question that Alex was thought was in this. Yikes. All right. Enormous social advances of China have benefited greatly from the singleness of ideology and purpose, but a stiff price has been paid in terms of cultural and intellectual constraint. There are only 8 different theatrical productions in the entire country. Universities are rigorously politicized, with little room for inquiry unrelated to Chairman Mao's thought. Freedom to travel and change jobs is restricted. When asked about personal creativity, one ceramics craftsman answered there was not time for individual art if the masses were to be served. These masses, not masses, but very little difference in how it actually worked out. Second, will the highly decentralized Chinese economy be able to adapt successfully to expanded foreign trade and technological improvements? Yes, they centralized it, and it adapted greatly, but they turned it into a single funnel. Considering the problems to be overcome, economic growth in China over the last 25 years has been quite remarkable, with an annual raise, blah, blah, blah. These results have depended largely on wise emphasis on agriculture and policy of decentralized balanced industrial development. The industrial spread reflects strategic factors, labor-abundant nature of country, blah, blah, blah. Third, are we and the Chinese prepared to accept our very real differences and still proceed towards the closer mutual understanding that must be the basis of substantive future contact, meaning they're communists and we're not, and all this stuff as well. I fear, too, that too often the true significance of potential of our new relationship with China has been obscured by the novelty of it all. We're just so excited about pandas and ping pong that we're looking past the fact that the place is communist and yada yada. Gymnastics and elaborate dinners have captivated our imagination. I suspect the Chinese are equally intrigued by some of our more novel capitalistic ways. Minus, I guess, VD and prostitution. In fact, of course, we are experiencing a much more fundamental phenomenon. The Chinese, for their part, are faced with an altering a primarily inward focus. We are faced with the realization we have largely ignored a country with 1/4 of the world's population when one considers the profound differences. The social experiment in China under Chairman Mao's leadership is one of the most important and successful in human history. How extensively China opens up and how the world interprets and reacts to the social innovations and lifestyles she has developed is certain to have profound impact on the future of many nations. Yeah, he turned around the story of starvation and turned it into a lie of abundance. And the articles about him concerning what the fuck did Alex just say? What did he say? I don't want to get into more of this asshole than we have to.
You want this stuff? Well, let us help you. We've got more stuff. Can you come back next week? It's called the stacks. And this is just a small part. We've got huge warehouses. You want more? Yeah, well, sure, we'll bring that to you.
Sorry, subversive librarians tried to let a 16-year-old look at the shit the Illuminati didn't want him to see.
We don't really ever see anybody want anything here. Everybody just goes and gets the cheat sheet books to act like that. I mean, literally. So, isn't it fascinating to learn about this whole breakaway civilization that's now very mature and advanced and is now collapsing everything else that you and I live in? Yeah, that's the article. So, back then, there was another one in 76 you wrote too. There's two of them, but back then you had to go to the library. I couldn't just punch that up at the New York Times.
Uh-huh.
So,
yeah, by the way, that would be the result of a totally repressive society putting all old newspapers on the internet for everyone to look at, whether they're American or not. It's amazing. It's like 1984 actually happened. In reverse.
I think you're like me. Imagine I'm 15, 16, 17, 18, just...
Yeah. No one wants to hang out with you. You're hanging around the library. The librarians want to take you into the back and show you the stacks.
In between work and school and dating.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously had a lot of free time.
Wasn't like I was just a bookworm, but I was staying up almost every night for hours. Just like it got more and more fascinating. And I'd say, surely this... was a monthly subscriber to the New American Magazine.
I'm not a subscriber, and don't call me Shirley.
John Birchers, and I would just say, is it really true that this guy said this in front of the Senate, and then I would go actually get the book they wrote?
Yeah, I just looked at the article you were talking about, Dickwad, and it sounds exactly like what a capitalist going to China would say. Like, oh, it's impressive that they brought a bunch of their people out of poverty, but it's clear they showed us what they want, and it remains to be seen whether we'll actually get along and how open they'll actually be. That was a pretty moderate fucking article.
And I'd read in a book or an article.
Yeah, I forget what it was. What's the difference? Is there a difference? I don't think so.
For like a Tex Mars article. That a place in Bohemian Grove and they do Druidic rituals and...
Jesus Christ. I'm done. I'm so fucking over this shit. I'm like... I've a generalized rule in these situations. I'm not going to chase down, rando bullshit from people like him. Good Lord.